Well, Russia is harshly criticizing the new sanctions imposed by the European Union and the United States. It is threatening countermeasures in the energy market. And CCTV's Tom Barton joins us now live from Moscow with the very latest. Tom.
Yes, we hear a great stepping up of the rhetoric here in Moscow with various officials from the foreign ministry leading the charge, really, in criticizing the sanctions, saying that they would damage relations with the US and the EU, calling them unproductive, repeating those and reinforcing those earlier claims that the sanctions would hurt those imposing them as much as Russia, as far as they see the situation, and also threatening worsening situation with energy prices, saying that they would go up as well. There is, of course, though, the dichotomy between this official message and also quite a few recent surveys suggest about two-thirds of the Russian population thinking that sanctions will not do that much damage to Russia, and that Russia will be able to shrug them off and become more economically independent. And economists and some banking analysts and former politicians that we've spoken to and who have spoken out publicly, who say, oh, no, this is potentially very serious indeed for Russia, especially the banking sanctions. If the credit dries up, it could have big knock-on effects.
Tom, tell us exactly how bad this could get.
Well, as well as all the rhetoric, we have seen as well the growing tit-for-tat. The response is starting to come out as well. We've seen Russia put a ban on vegetables coming in from Poland. That's not even Ukraine. That's just a nearby country, former Eastern Bloc country, and now a NATO member. We've seen the dairy products ban from the Ukraine. We see court cases and investigations being demanded against Western fast food companies, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC as well. So there are tit-for-tat measures, none of them particularly on the scale that sanctions have been. And it has been pointed out by analysts many times that there's really not as much that Russia can do immediately to strike back in terms of sanctions, unless it wants to go down the gas route, which would be a major escalation indeed. And it must be said, beyond that, there are non-economic measures as well. There is a civil war in the east of Ukraine. The West accuses Russia of being behind it. Russia accuses the West of being behind it. That could spiral out of control as well.
Tom Barton reporting live in Moscow.